Back now with Endgame. The issue of African-American support for Pete Buttigieg seemed to be a theme of the debate on Wednesday night, except it seemed as if all the candidates didn't know how to talk about it other than Buttigieg. Here's Buttigieg and Kamala Harris back-to-back here on this issue of Buttigieg's arguably inability so far to woo African-American voters.
While I do not have the experience of ever having been discriminated against because of the color of my skin, I do have the experience of sometimes feeling like a stranger in my own country.
So we're going to now say that my pain is worse than your pain? These are all injustices, but to start comparing one group's pain to the other is misguided.
Michael Eric Dyson, what was interesting about Kamala Harris's criticism there post-debate is that she actually had an opportunity to say that right directly back at Pete Buttigieg, and she backed off.
Yeah.
She actually, when he gave his answer, and there was more to it, and I think at some point he even threw out the caveat going, I know I'm not going to compare struggles, but...
Right.
And she decided not to do it, but she did it off camera. What does that tell you?
Well, first of all, she's reinforcing a point that many people have made. You can't engage in an oppression derby. The Jews, the blacks, the Italians, the gays.
By the way, you're always going to lose. Whatever derby, you're always going to lose. Somebody always feels oppressed.
I mean, if you ain't in Kentucky, it's bad. So what's interesting is that she also had to deal with the gauntlet that had been thrown down is that black people are more gay. I mean, more homophobic, right? So now you're thinking, if I come at him, then it reinforces the perception of black people being more homophobic. And I think it's unfortunate, right? James Baldwin said that the problem that many black people had with some Jews in the 60s was not that they were Jewish, is that they were white. The problem with Pete Buttigieg is not that he's gay, is that his politics have been so whitewashed to a certain degree that they have undermined his capacity to forge connection with African-American people. Now, that's not to say that there's not homophobia in black communities, as there is in every other community in the world, but to single out black people is especially ironic because in one sense, the reason some black people are so sensitive to homosexuality is their heterosexuality has already been queered. When you come here and get your testicles looked at on an auction block, that ain't normal. So now we're hypersensitive to anybody else who steps outside of that realm. So that's, I think, what was at the
Let me just ask this quick. Can Pete Buttigieg become the nominee? Or is this too big of a problem?
No, it's not too big of a problem, but he's got to be willing to be self-critical and to acknowledge that most black people are, unlike me, are conservative morally and conservative socially, even if not politically. If many Republicans hadn't been caught in a quagmire of bigotry, they could exploit the inherent cultural conservatism of black people.
Well, you know, what's kind of interesting also is that Joe Biden, when he was vice president, was the one who converted Barack Obama into supporting gay marriage, which he didn't support in his second term when he was running for re-election.
Or at least he outed him. He outed Obama
as a supporter, yeah.
As a supporter, that's what I'm saying.
Right. So it's kind of a triangle here that we have in the Democratic Party. The only other thing is you can't outcool Barack Obama, and that's one thing the Democrats are lacking. It's anyone who has command of the stage like Barack Obama did. And plus, I was on the campaign trail against Barack Obama. He's cool, and it's personal with the African-American community. Kamala Harris is trying to be cool. She can't.
Can I jump in on that? Yeah. You know what's interesting is that I think the black response to Kamala and Corey, tremendous individuals with extraordinary talent, is a delayed response of disappointment in Barack Obama that black people cannot explicitly articulate. So because they love Obama the man, but politically they see now that there were some really problematic situations, and so they want their cake and eat it too.
Kelly and Katie.